Welcome to One on One on God One on One. Our guest today is Big Brother Season 25 house guest Cory. Cory, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. I expected to talk to you after being evicted or hopefully winning the show. I did not expect to have a Julie talk round two. This is so exciting.
Consolation prize,
Exactly. The ultimate
There's-
consolation prize.
there you go. Now, we have a lot of catching up to do, including you shaving the mustache, a lot of things, the game, America. But first, God.
Mm.
Did you grow up knowing God?
I grew up in a Jewish household, bar mitzvah. Um, and I think for me, what was so important was always just the community aspect of it. I don't think I ever really connected with the more spiritual side. But after talking to so many people in the house, honestly, who were like had a lot more faith, I think I'm learning a lot about it, and I think it's super valuable to a lot of people.
Ooh, tell me about that. Like, how did the topic of faith come up in the house, and what did you hear and learn?
Well, first of all, there's not that many reading materials in the house, so you kind of have the Bible and other religious texts that you can request. So I actually read a little bit just because, honestly, nothing beyond curiosity for me. Because again, growing up Jewish, it's not exactly like the first thing that I think about reading. But Felicia was in there reading it a ton, as was Matt. And Felicia, especially, we had a lot of conversations about it. And I think for me, it was just trying to figure out how I could relate to her, because it's such an important part of her life. Every day before we eat, we're saying grace. I've never said grace before. I don't know what that was really. I thought we were all going to hold hands around the table. Like, it's just been strange for me, but I feel like, again, I feel like I'm learning a lot.
Has saying grace before any meal stuck since you've left the house and left being with all those your housemates?
Not yet, but I'm going to dinner in a couple of hours, so maybe the traditional start.
Okay, okay. And we are going to be talking to America. Did you talk to America about her faith?
Yeah, well, I think most of it is her family is obviously not Jewish. Mine is, so it's kind of like talking to each other. Like, she's celebrating Hanukkah down here, then I'm going to Texas to celebrate Christmas. So we're kind of touching all of our bases. It's a conversation we haven't really had. I don't think either of us are super super religious. It's more so for our families, making sure that like we're on the same page when it comes to that stuff.
Well, I will say, you are probably more in touch with the divine than you think, because my husband is Jewish. My
Mhm.
son is 14, had a bar mitzvah, and yours was a while ago. But like you're reading scripture, you're reading from the,
Oh yeah.
the Torah.
I
The
still
first
know
five.
my Torah portion. Via Bered, Anayel, Moshe Lam. Like, I can do the whole thing.
There you go. See, you're
Mhm.
speaking the Lord's language right there.
Yes, I am.
Okay, we have a lot of Big Brother talking
Mm.
to catch up. First of all, when did you shave the mustache and why?
This was yesterday, right? And I don't want to say it was in preparation for this interview, but it was something in the back of my mind. Since I've been home, I've been in the middle of like a tug of war between my mom, who hates the mustache, and America, who loves it. And unsurprisingly, mom won. So, the way I like to put it is I'm just growing a new mustache now.
Has America seen you either on FaceTime or in person since you shaved it? Does she know you shaved it?
She shaved it yesterday. She is in the other room. She
Oh,
will have the
okay.
same exact background.
I'll be talking to her next after you. Okay, and what does she say?
Uh, in nice words, much nicer than I'm going to put it, she said, "I want the mustache back."
All right, so I guess you answered half of my next question. We
Yes.
know your mom didn't like it. What did the rest of your friends and family say?
I think for them, they've known me my entire life without the mustache, so this is like a return to normal. But like America and the other house guests, I had a mustache for 50 days of the 80 days they knew me. So I think it's kind of bizarre because for me, this is what I look like. To everyone else, it's like confusing. Like, who is this guy? Like, I think for me, especially in the house, it was helpful because I came in at 21 years old, and I think the mustache aged me up to like 22 or 23, maybe pushing it. Whereas now I feel like I'm back to my nice, like 17-year-old boyish charms. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be.
Well, which look do you prefer?
I prefer the middle ground, the growing in mustache, because as it's growing in, you can't tell it's gonna be, like, the ugliest shade of blonde, right? It just looks like a growing mustache, so give it, like, 3 or 4 weeks, I'll be in great shape.
Okay, let's talk more about the game itself.
Yes.
You went in, you're an Uber fan.
Mhm.
Was playing Big Brother what you expected it to be?
I expected it to be the most impossible thing I ever did, and mission accomplished. It was so challenging. Some parts of it surprised me. I'm generally a pretty closed off person. I like my privacy, so I thought I would go into the house and maybe like turtle shell up a little bit, and that didn't happen at all because despite being in this crazy social environment, you are there with only the same 15, 16 people the whole season. So you get really close to them, you get really comfortable with these people. And I found myself connecting with people who like I never expected to hang out with. Like even people like Matt, Jag, Jared, kind of like, the bros. I don't bro down if that's not super obvious. So I was surprised by socially how I did. I was pleasantly surprised by that. And also, I'm surprised about how annoying competitions are. They're so hard, Julie. Like, I'm watching these endurance competitions and I'm thinking, I would never drop because I would just want it more than everyone else. Meanwhile, I'm weak. I just can't do it. So, that was definitely something that caught me off guard. I think I overestimated my abilities a bit.
Now, we all know that you and America, I don't know if you prefer AmeriCorey
Mm.
or CoreAmerica, but, you didn't expect to go in to enter into a showmance either, did you?
No, I don't think anyone did. I don't think this was like the vision. Like we're gonna have Corey on the show, and he's going to find love. Like I don't think that was the goal. But it just happens. I mean, in the Big Brother house especially, it's so stressful. And for me, I was just so anxious. I couldn't sleep the whole time. And she was the one person in the house where I felt comfortable and I could relax and actually enjoy myself as opposed to just like spiraling 24/7. So that was super valuable. And then we had time in the jury, which was amazing. And since then, she's been down in Florida. We're heading up to New York for her birthday tomorrow. So it's been fantastic. And yeah, again, not expecting it whatsoever.
So you've met each other's families?
So she's met my family. My brother and mom were actually in LA for the finale. And now this is my brother's childhood bedroom. So we've been staying with my parents for a couple days. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to meet her family in the coming weeks.
That is Christmas, yeah. So, we'll see. I think the weird thing is my family is so involved, like reality TV family. They watch all the feeds. They know more about the show than me. Whereas her family has never seen Big Brother. So when they were meeting America, they felt like they already knew her. America's family, I think they've seen like the edited episodes and that's it.
Well, that's something. Well,
That's all.
speaking of the edited episodes,
Mhm.
you and America were both members of the jury. Since getting out, have you guys watched any of the episodes together
We have
or
not
separately?
We have not watched the episodes, but I've caught up on everything. I've listened to all the podcasts, watched all the clips, a ton of like long form YouTube videos. Like I feel like I have a really good grasp of what actually went down in the house and who was in control and at what points I was screwing up. Like the day I was out of the house, I was downloading myself on everything because that's how I absorb Big Brother. Like the episodes are great, but the way I consume it is I just like take every piece of information. I'm watching the feed. So it took me 15 minutes to revert back to my old Big Brother fan self.
So did anything surprise you?
Well, Suri and Jared's ridiculous. I mean, that was unbelievable to me. And the first half of the game, my entire alliance was Suri, Jared, and Izzy. So it's mom, son, and then like basically adopted daughter. And they all knew each other's secret, and I knew nothing. So I had to like when you told us on stage, I immediately had to rethink every single conversation I had with Suri or Jared and be like, oh, that's why this was screwed up. That's why I was being targeted. That was shocking. I was most surprised in my own game of at what point I lost Bowie Jane because I really thought like I had Bowie, like she was my piece, my pawn. And that stopped around Zombie Week, whereas I thought I had it up until I was evicted. So that was a big oh shoot, Corey, you are not nearly as good at Big Brother as you thought you were. But outside of that, I feel like I had a pretty good grasp of what was going on out there.
And now that you're out of the house, other than America, like, who are you still, in touch with? Like, who Who do you think is gonna be a lifelong friend as a result of this, America aside?
Yeah, it's challenging because I've never been someone who like has a ton of friends and reaches out and is super proactive, but there's definitely some people on the cast. I mean, Jag is a great dude. I can't wait to hang out with Jag. Love Bowie to death. I'm obsessed with Izzy. She's one of my favorite people. Um, there's a lot. I think for me, it's more so about which friendships kind of arise naturally. I don't think I'm going to be forcing anything because it is a very stressful game, and obviously, so many things are said and it gets messy at times. For me, I'm just going to give it a couple weeks and then see who basically stays in touch. And I'm open to anything.
And what is next for you? Because you haven't finished college yet, right?
Well, that was so nice because everyone else in the house is like, "Oh my god, I got to figure out my lease. I don't know where I'm going to work." I'm like, I have to take classes. I have like 23 more credits before I graduate. So like it's going to be nice going back to school and being like a tiny micro celebrity for a couple weeks before graduating. I'm really looking forward to it, and also being in Nashville, hanging out with Riley. It's going to be great.
And then where does this leave America? What's the future for this? What do you hope for the future for you in America?
We have a lot of plans. Obviously, I love America. She's amazing. I think I'll let her speak to what her specific plans are because we definitely have been talking about it, but it's going to be great. It's been so fun so far. My family's obsessed with her. My little sister is
Oh.
actually obsessed with her. It's gonna be great. I'm really, really, really optimistic.
Well, I know her family will fall in love with you just as
Of
much as
course.
she has fallen for you,
How could
so
they not?
what's not to love?
That's what I'm saying.
Corey, thank you so much for, sharing your time and your story with us, and, I just wish you Godspeed, and may God always bless you and your family and America and her family abundantly.
Thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you, Corey.